Hello again, everyone. It's Ted HEAD back with you for another video. That's right. And it's Raw time, ladies and gentlemen. Monday Night Raw, September 7th, 2015. Coming to you from Baltimore. I'm going to be reviewing that right now. In fact, that is why this video exists. Hope you enjoyed Raw. Hope you enjoyed the professional wrestling business. Hope you've enjoyed the podcast as well. The Wrestling Matters, the ICW one, and the Progress Wrestling one, which will be tomorrow. The Progress Wrestling and the ICW one may be a little bit late than normal, but I will get them out to you ASAP, and you can see them on SoundCloud and YouTube on this very channel as well. So, but without further ado, ladies and gents, boys and girls, and whoever else is watching this, coming to you from the Wrestling Matters channel, and hey, Facebook as well, facebook.com/WM podcast. Let's review Raw. Let's talk Raw. Now, I'm going to get the crap out of the way first. There was a little bit of crap involving Summer Rae apologising to one Rusev for the actions of what's taking place between them and Dolph Ziggler. She felt like she made an idiot out of Rusev and all that yada yada yada. And then Rusev, basically Rusev and Summer Rae, mainly Rusev, blamed Dolph Ziggler for what's gone down these past couple of weeks with the shower incident and Lana and this, that, and the other. All building towards a mixed tag match. That's what it is, mixed tag. And yeah, all building towards a mixed tag match. And Dolph came out and put an end to it and threw the mic in the air, basically, his mic in the air, asked Rusev to catch it, and then Rusev catches a kick to the mouth. But like I say, it's all building towards a mixed tag match at some point. It's just Lana can't get medically cleared at the moment. Something's denying that back, so they're all building it until the point where she eventually gets a medical cleared, and then it's going to be a mixed tag match. When this mixed tag match is going to take place, I do not know. Doubt it's going to be taking place at Night of Champions. I could only see it at Hell in a Cell if it gets there in time. If the clearance gets in time at Hell in a Cell on the pre-show. I think they should just save it for the Survivor Series, to be honest with you. I think it'd be more suitable for the Survivor Series. But anyway, now Randy Orton one-on-one with Sheamus. More on Sheamus later on, but I'll get this out the way. It was a good physical match. The rubber match, if you will, because Randy Orton beat him at Battleground, then beat him and then Sheamus won at SummerSlam, so they had to have this match at some point. And it was a good physical match, which led, but the story of the match was Sheamus letting the crowd get to him with the "You look stupid" chant. And he does. He looks stupid. And then Randy Orton manages to hit the RKO and get the victory. But the story of that was after the match, because Randy Orton was attacked by the Wyatt family. Now, the reason being is the Wyatt family obviously saw them talking to Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns saw him, Randy Orton. So they thought he was going to be the tag partner. So they sent a message to Reigns and Ambrose using Randy Orton. Obviously, Orton's not going to be too kindly to that. My guessing from that is going to be Orton's going to be the partner. But then again, we don't know. But all in all, that's the way that went. And speaking of Dean Ambrose, they had a squash match. I say Ambrose and Reigns, they had a squash match with the Ascension. And basically just squashed them. And Wyatt came up on the Tron and said that the apocalypse would be waiting for them at Night of Champions, waiting for whoever would be the partner. Hence the little situation with Orton. So, who's going to be the tag partner out of this? We'll have to wait and see. My guess is at the moment right now it'll be Orton, but you never know with WWE. Maybe it will be Eric Rowan. I highly doubt it. I highly hope not, to be honest. I mean, I'm down for a 4-man wide family. But WWE at the moment right now has this thing on 3-man teams. Hence the Divas. More on the Divas later. Now, I'll get to the other points of Raw, which saw the other two loose points of Raw, which saw the Dudley boys basically owning Los Matadores, warming up for the match with whoever the tag champs are at Night of Champions, because, as announced earlier on, when the Dudleys got in the face of Seth Rollins and A New Day, along with Edge and Christian, great to see Edge and Christian and the Dudleys on the same side, you know, all them great matches they had. But the Dudleys made it clear that next week's Raw, which is the season premiere of Raw, it'll be primetime players getting their rematch against New Day, and the winner goes on to Night of Champions to face the Dudleys. And the Dudleys will be 10-time World Tag Team Champions. And, they came out and destroyed Los Matadores, basically. El Torito got up on the apron and distracted one of the Los Matadores. I forgot their names, and quite frankly, I don't think they really no one cares about them, to be honest. And then the guy turned around and got 3D'd. That was it. And then they bullied Los Matador, El Torito on the outside. Devon came over and grabbed him, and then Bubba put him through a table just to send a little message. So that took care of that. And the Cesaro match in Miz, it was okay for what it was, an okay match, but great moment in the match, which was Cesaro wearing JBL's hat, doing the running uppercut on the outside, whilst having JBL's hat on the awesome stuff. Story of Miz's match, because Miz got the offense and was working on the ribs from last week, the injured ribs from last week with Cesaro's match with Kevin Owens. But the story of it was Big Show came out looking for revenge because Miz cost Big Show the Intercontinental Championship. And Miz, as he always does, runs away like a pussy. You know. Miz, Big Show, pre-show, anyone? Just saying. Please don't put that on the pay-per-view. Speaking of Ryback, last week on SmackDown, he got interrupted in an interview by Kevin Owens. He did it. Owens did it again. But Ryback wasn't, taking anything about it. Didn't care about it, to be honest. And, Kevin Owens, Ryback, anyone? And I was asked this on the podcast last week that I went on. Would that be good for Ryback? Hell yeah, it would be good for Ryback. What WWE have got to do with Ryback as Intercontinental Champion is test him. Give him better opponents to test him and bring the prestige that he wants to bring to the Intercontinental Championship. Now, I like Kevin Owens Ryback a hell of a lot better than I do Kevin Owens Ryback Big Show. Sorry. So maybe that's the reason why they had the match with Big Show and Ryback on Raw, which cost Big Show the match. And like I say, I like that. I like Kevin Owens Ryback a lot better than I do Big Show and Ryback. Will it happen? Remains to be seen. It seems meant to be seen. It seems it's going down that way. But you never know with WWE. Now, just checking to see what else was there on the Raw. Nothing really much more to talk about. But so, with that being said, let's talk Divas. Divas Revolution. Now, Divas Revolution, which started with Paige and Sasha Banks in a rematch from last week in the Beat the Clock match, which never really got off really because all Paige had to do was beat Sasha within 1 minute 40, and that was never going to happen. So they had the match this week, and it was a good match. It wasn't the best match. It was a good match. The crowd seemed to love it, unlike the Brooklyn crowd. The crowd seemed to love it. I could have swore I heard a chant, "This is awesome." But two good divas going at it. The first NXT champion and the former NXT champion. I liked it. I really did. Tamina get involved, stir things up, and then Paige takes Tamina out, and then the distraction by Naomi allowing Sasha to roll up Paige for the victory. I don't know where that's going to go, but the supremacy is still there, and the Divas Revolution still exists. The only good thing about it was it wasn't in Brooklyn. Nothing against Brooklyn people, but I had a little bit of an issue with the Brooklyn crowd shitting on the Divas match on Raw at that week. I don't know why they did that, but hey, they're entitled to it. But I didn't agree with it. But this match was pretty good, and I liked it. And Sasha makes a statement and proving to Paige at this moment in time at least, that she's the boss. I still don't understand why she's with Team Bad, but hey, that's just my opinion. I don't believe she should be with Team Bad. But anyway. And then later on in the evening, Nikki Bella comes out and gloats, and they talk about this new thing. Nikki Bella next week on Raw will equal the Divas title reign of AJ Lee. They want it to beat it. Now, I don't know why they did this then and there, but Charlotte's put a petition in to have the match that's scheduled for Night of Champions have it on Raw. Will that happen? We have to find that out next week. Or look out for it sometime this week on WWE.com. But either way, no matter what, the record is not going to be that long, or broken that long anyway, because in Night of Champions, Charlotte will be the new Divas champion, and PCB came out and basically put the Bella Twins, or Team Bella, in their place, like they've been doing all this time. And then Charlotte gave an example of what it will probably be like at Night of Champions when she put Nikki Bella, Miss Cena, or somebody I know on Facebook called Shira, puts her in the figure eight and makes a tap. Now, I've been very vocal about this. The only reason she's probably getting this, like there's rumours flying around, it's probably true, considering what's been going down, but Cena backstage politicked to allow Nikki Bella to, break the reign of AJ Lee and become the record holder, the longest reigning Divas champion. So, if this does happen, and she does break the record of AJ Lee, we can all blame Cena. But I think it may be WWE's way of trying to erase AJ Lee, period. Because of what, she's out now with CM Punk rather, and all that. Maybe that's her way of trying to erase. That's their way of trying to erase AJ Lee. I don't know. I don't care. The only thing I care about is Charlotte becoming the Divas champion, and that's what's going to happen. So the Bella Twins' little reign of terror, or Team Bella rather, little reign of terror, will end at Night of Champions, if not next week on Raw. And I can't wait for that. Soon as Charlotte becomes Divas champion, the better, because I believe they should build that Divas division around her. It's a smart move to do. She's good. Nothing against Becky or Paige, but she's the star of the Divas division, and she's the future of the Divas division, and at Night of Champions should be the now of the Divas division. Anywho, on to the main point of Raw. Seth Rollins comes out on Raw antagonizes the crowd, gets on their face, basically brags about himself. Now, basically brags about himself, saying he's the bee's knees and he's the man. And to be honest, he really is. And then realizes he has to have a match with John Cena at Night of Champions as well as Sting. It all sinks in and everything. Sting pops up on the Titantron, standing next to the statue of Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is pissed, but Sting challenges him to come and get it. And just plays games with him all night, which leads into the match that Triple H booked backstage with Seth Rollins while Seth Rollins was talking to Stephanie, which is backstage, Seth Rollins, 2 matches in one night. He would face first Ryback, the Intercontinental Champion. Now, this was all Ryback earlier on, because Seth Rollins couldn't get off the ground. Ryback just dominated him, and when Seth tried to get off the ground and get on offense, he basically just pissed Ryback off, which all led to the commercial break that they had, because Seth Rollins managed to take control. And then, after the break, Seth Rollins eventually ended up wrestling the man to the ground, which was good for his sake, because that's the only way you could beat him. Like I say, good match all in all. I liked it. I didn't have a problem with it. But that wasn't really the main story of the match, because the main story of the match was just as when Seth Rollins had Ryback beat after kicking him in the face with an enziguri, Sting pops up on the Titantron with the statue and says, and just to remind Seth really that he was still waiting for him to come and get his statue, and realizing that he is, too preoccupied with other things, which allowed Ryback to get the victory out of nowhere with a small package and beat the world champion. Future title match down the road, we'll have to wait and see. But Sting was playing mind games all night, and then as that ended, Sting popped up back on the Titantron, started doing a little pop-up thing, a little pop-up thing, which was hilarious, and then proceeds to put a Sting mask on the statue. I loved it, mate. I thought it was hilarious. And then later on in the evening, Triple H also booked Seth Rollins in a match in a 6-man tag with New Day. Oh boy. And then went up against PTP and John Cena. US title thing. And it was a great match. A great 6-man tag. Although Seth Rollins didn't really do much in this. I loved how Michael Cole said, "Oh yeah, New Day and Seth Rollins are in control." Seth didn't do that much. He was smart. I'll give him his due. He was smart and let New Day do all the work, because he already had a match earlier on in the evening. But Cena's team couldn't get off the ground until he eventually tagged in Primetime Players, Titus O'Neil and that. Primetime Players raised hell, and then, Cena ended up getting the win by beating Kofi, as Kofi got tagged in from Seth Rollins while Seth Rollins was in the STFU. Now, that wasn't the main story. Good 6-man tag. I loved it. Pretty good way to close out the main event. But that wasn't the best way, because the way that Raw ended was Sting turned on the lights. He was out in I believe it was the parking lot, with the statue, and behind the statue was a trash compactor, i.e., as we call it over here, the binman. You wake up every morning and once a week maybe, and you put your bins out, and then the binman comes in and collects them. That's what was standing outside behind the statue, which was hilarious. And then Sting proceeds to put the statue into the bin. toying with it at first, and then just shoving it right into the bin thing, the trash compactor, and crushing the binman, crushing the statue. The statue basically got destroyed, and that pissed off Rollins even more. And then Sting gets on the binman and goes, "See you at Night of Champions, Seth." Just a fun evening and horrible night for Seth Rollins. And I've got no beef with Seth Rollins. I like Seth Rollins, but I'm pretty much done with him as World Heavyweight Champion. I want a new champion. And hopefully it will be Sting. Now, one thing I forgot to mention was during the first bit of Raw, Sheamus came out and little reminder that he was Money in the Bank, and Seth may go from having 2 matches at Night of Champions to 3. I don't think that's going to happen. It will be 2 matches. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm hoping the WWE, should Sting win the championship at Night of Champions, I hope they'll allow Sting to have at least a little bit of a title run with it. And not, have him beat Seth Rollins at that night and then basically take it away from him right there and then. Because that won't go down well with the crowd. I mean, you heard the pop from Sting. You heard what the reaction was when Sting picked up the belt in Brooklyn. The crowd obviously want the champion. They want Sting to be world champion. They want Sting to be the WWE champion. They want Sting to fulfill his legacy and become WCW, NWA, TNA, even though WWE won't acknowledge that, and WWE World Champion. So it's a simple thing, and he deserves it considering what took place at WrestleMania with Triple H. He needs a win. He needs a solid push thing, like a push up, and to bounce back from, the Triple H fiasco at WrestleMania. Why did he lose at WrestleMania? I do not know, and I'll never know that to this very day, no matter what reasons were. At no reason did Paul Levesque need to go over Sting at WrestleMania. But anyway, I believe Sheamus will do this. There's talk of him doing it at the big pay-per-views, which were Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, at WrestleMania. Can't see him doing it at WrestleMania, because it's already been done. Unless they do it in like a shocking kind of way and not allow anybody to believe that he's going to do it at WrestleMania and do it out the blue and make people think, I wasn't expecting that. I mean, we kind of expected Seth Rollins to do it at this year's WrestleMania. It was just a case of when, and he did. They want to do that with Sheamus. If they're going to do that again with Sheamus, they want to do it so the crowd least expect it, and and the internet doesn't expect it. Oh yeah, we're going to do this, and then boom, he just does it right there and then. And have the people go out and think, I wasn't expecting Sheamus to cash in that kind of way, but I doubt that happening. I can see the Royal Rumble and Survivor Series, but I believe, or even TLC. But I believe Sheamus will eventually cash in on a Raw show. I think he's more leaning towards a Monday Night Raw show. I might be wrong on this. This is just my assumption, I believe. But at the end of the day, like I said on the podcast that I was on last week with Michael Larkin, shout out to you, Michael, I don't believe that's going to take place. And I don't think it'll have as much impact as Seth Rollins had. Because at the end of the day, people don't even care about Sheamus. Sheamus is going to cash in, become world champion. People are going to be like, oh well, don't give a fuck. And it's hard to take Sheamus serious considering the way he looks. I mean, I love Sheamus, but bring back the old badass that first came in the WWE. The whole badass and, love to fight Sheamus. Now he looks like a fucking cockatoo or something. And Seth Rollins owned him on Raw. Basically owned him on Raw because Seth came out and said they had a statue to go and collect. And Sheamus went, a statue? A statue? Do you have any idea how ridiculous you sound? And then Seth came back and went, do you have any idea how ridiculous you look? You know, total ownage. You know, that's why people can't take Sheamus serious, because of the way he looks. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yes, people got their wishes. Sunday Segway got their wish of being, you know, of him turning heel. But, you know, it just doesn't work. Just doesn't work. You know, I want the old Sheamus back, but highly unlikely that's going to happen. All in all, a good show. A good episode of Raw. And like last week, I'm going to give it a solid 7 out of 10 in Sunday Segway terms. And a 3 out of 5, or 3.5 out of 5 this time around. I didn't think it needed a 4, to be honest. But a 3.5 out of 5 is, you know, as nice as I'm going to do it. Because it was a good Raw. It wasn't the best Raw, but it was a good Raw. I liked it. You know, yes, there was some stupidity on it and some daft things that happened and all that with the Summer Rae shit and everything. They all built up to the mixed tag match. But all in all, it was a good show, I thought. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of this video. Now, I hope you enjoyed it. If so, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Leave your opinions. Everybody has an opinion, good or bad. And I got no problem with it. Big thank you to you all for supporting the last videos that I've done, including the SummerSlam review with August 24th show. That got over like a hotcake, and I loved it. And I'm going to keep bashing these babies out, because I've got a few other videos in the pipeline for you to stay tuned for. And the only way you're going to see it is on this Wrestling Madness channel. So, you know, be sure to check that out at some point. I don't know when I'm going to do them yet. As I'm recording this right now, this is September 8th. Early afternoon UK time. And this will be going out at 8:30 UK time, which is about 3:30 East Coast USA time. So be sure to tune in and check this out and everything. And like I say, you like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Look out for the other videos that I've got coming up. I'm putting them into process right now, and they will be up very, very soon. And until next time, guys, my name is Anthony Walker, the HD88, the D. I hope you've enjoyed it, and until then, I'll see you soon. Peace.